Hi, it's Peter Bodner-Rod, Senior Instructor with the International Sommelier Guild. Today we're going to taste a white wine. The white wine I've selected is a Chardonnay. It's a 2009 Edna Valley Chardonnay from California, from Mount Eden Vineyards. A lovely site along the central coast of California, a warm site, but also a site that receives some of the cooling influences off the Pacific. And the Chardonnays here can be very flavorful and intense, but generally quite balanced as well. So let's see how we make out with this one. Hopefully you've got a nice white background, you've got great natural light as I do, and you've got yourself the printout of the tasting sheet, the ISG tasting sheet, which you printed out from the online course. And you've got yourself some wine that you're going to be tasting. All right? So, first thing we want to evaluate is the appearance of the wine. As you can see, I've poured myself about 2 ounces or so of the wine in my tasting glass. And I'm going to have a good look at it. It's clear or bright. It has a pale gold, pale to medium gold tone at the core, and if in fact I am looking at how the color changes, the hue, the depth or intensity of the hue changes towards the rim, clearly it becomes a little bit paler towards the rim of the glass. There's no sediment, there's no carbon dioxide, there's no heavy legs or tears, which are generally referred to as viscosity, which is a reflection of alcohol content and residual sugar. Next thing I'm going to do is nose the wine and make notes on that. There's a number of different things that we need to evaluate, the first of which, and most important of which, is the health of the wine. This wine is certainly healthy. It smells wonderful, actually. It's got medium plus intensity of aromas. It doesn't take long for the aromas to really jump out of the glass, and in fact I smell them from here, here, and here. It's really quite satisfying and fulfilling. It smells like a young wine, so I would write youthful aromas of, and then I would go on to describe the various things, the specific things that I smell. I certainly smell fruit, I smell oak, I might smell a little bit of stone or minerality, and then if I wanted to get more specific, I might go on to say that there's a nice golden apple aroma, a little bit of fig, perhaps a bit of dried pineapple. I smell a little bit of stony minerality. The oak comes across as a slightly smoky, slightly toasty aromatic with a little bit of sweet vanillin in the background. Nice wine. Next, I'm going to evaluate the palate. Medium to full-bodied, dry, although there are lots of ripe fruit flavors here. There's no tangible residual sugar, and as a result I would call this a dry wine. I would say that it's medium acidity, maybe on the low side of medium, but medium nonetheless. No tannins, even though it has been oaked. There's no perceptible wood tannins here. Alcohol seems medium to high, and the flavor replays are quite similar to what I smelled, actually. I smell a lot of, or I taste, pardon me, a lot of the dried fruits, a bit of pineapple, a little bit of ripe apple, a slightly toasty, smoky oak flavor, and additionally a creaminess to this wine, a lovely, almost buttery creaminess to this wine, which would support the fact that this wine has probably seen partial malolactic fermentation, which gives it some of the buttery, creamy characteristics. So I go back to nosing it again in case anything new has emerged in the last few minutes. I'll taste again. I'm reassessing what I've written down. I'm adding. I rarely subtract, because if I've smelled something and I wrote it down, it probably was there, but there may be additional aromas that arrive over time. I would add also that it's got a medium finish, medium length of finish. Flavors don't hang around too long. A few seconds. Last thing I want to make a note of is the quality and maturity of the wine. Overall, a balanced wine with nice complexity, good intensity of aromas. I think it's a well-made wine. I don't think it's a very expensive wine, but it's not an ultra-cheap wine either. I'd probably peg it in the $25 to $35 price point if I didn't know the price, which I do. It's $27.95. I might also suggest that this is a wine to drink now over the next 2 to 3 years. Good with food, fuller-bodied dishes, lobster, cream sauce, veal, simply prepared, full-flavored fish dishes, white fishes with lemon, citrus, cream sauces, nuts, etc. Maybe candied or preserved lemon. Overall, quite a nice wine. Well made. The only complaints, if I had any, were that perhaps the acidity is just a touch on the low side and the alcohol's a touch on the warm side. And if either of those was adjusted in one direction or the other, we might find that we had an even more balanced, enjoyable wine, but a good wine nonetheless.